Thanks for coming back. It's Freshwater Fishing Novice Friday. My name is Moles. This is the Freshwater Fishing Novice YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about how to hold a fish when you catch it. Stay tuned.
Come on. Oh, he's so spiky. Right in the mud. Oh, no. Oh, man. Another smooth release.
So you caught a fish. Now how the hell do you hold this thing to get the hook out of its mouth? I guess the real question is, what kind of fish did you just catch? Because it depends on the species. Let's dive into the first species. Right, so we caught our first fish. How the hell do we grab this thing? It's probably what you're asking yourself. I know that's the first thing I did. I'm like, how do I? Forgot how to handle. How do you do this? So let's get into it. So the first fish probably you're gonna catch is gonna be a sunfish. Let's take a look at a sunfish. So this isn't a sunfish, but that's a picture of a sunfish. Pumpkin seed, bluegill. But anyway, this is just my prop fish. So that's a sunfish, we'll say, or a panfish. They have spines right here. So what you want to do is when you grab the fish, you want to push back on the spines, because otherwise you're going to get poked. So you push back on the spines, take the hook out. After that, release it into the water, let it go. It's going to take off, but watch out for those spines. So yellow perch. Yellow perch is in the same kind of category as the sunfish. It's got the spines, but it's got a bigger mouth, so you can actually grab it like this. But if it's super big, small one, you can grab by the mouth. If you land a yellow perch this big, you should not, you'll mess its neck up and its everything. You just be careful. You be gentle to the fish. You already hooked it in the face. A larger yellow perch you want to handle like this, but you're also going to push back on the fins and try to support it more vertically. No, vertically is this way. Horizontally, more horizontally. That's the position the fish is usually in. The fish is not usually like that. So you want to keep the fish as comfortable as possible while you're unhooking the fish. If any fish is big, you want to be gentle with it. Now a rock bass also has the spines. It's a rock bass right there. But you can lip them if their mouth's big enough. So it just depends on what you want to do. If it's a smaller rock bass, you can comb the fin back, take the hook out, release it. If it's big enough, you can lip it for a picture. Rock bass. So those are like the panfish, the spiny fish that you have to you might have to grab like this and push their fins back. So just something to watch out for, because if you don't know, you'll get poked and get really surprised. Sunfish, yellow perch, rock bass. So now we're going to talk about trout. They have smoother skin and not the scales like the rock bass and the panfish and block crappie and stuff like that. So they have smoother skin, so you got to be more gentle. So let's take a look at one of these. Okay, so with trout, their skin's very smooth, not like this fake bass I'm holding. But so you're going to want to wet your hands beforehand, because they have like a slime skin on them. Pickerel also have that slime. It's kind of weird and gross, but you want to wet your hands before you grab a trout, and you want to hold it. You want to support a trout like this because they're pretty sensitive as far as having a tough backbone, unlike bass, block crappie, perch. Any of those fish are a lot tougher. A trout's a lot more sensitive. But if you have to catch it with your hand, make sure you get your hand wet first. Support the fish like this, unhook it, dehook it, and then you want to put your hands in the water and cradle it while it gets ready to swim off. It's not going to shoot off like a sunfish or a bass or something. Like panfish will just shoot off, so you don't have to worry about it as much. But trout, you want to be sensitive so you don't kill them. As little time out of the water as possible, and then right back in nice and easy. And you're probably going to end up in water. So waders or boots or something like that, or get ready to go in the water to let this fish go. So let's talk about pickerel. You're probably going to catch a pickerel at some point as a freshwater fishing novice. They got teeth, they're slimy, and they squirm like crazy. So you're going to have to grab that thing around. Well, let's take a look if I'm holding it. Hold on one second. So I got this fake fish. But if it's a pickerel, it's long, it's skinnier, it's slimier, you're gonna have to hold on to that thing pretty close to the head, below the gills, and then you're gonna have to unhook it. These things are industrial. They're the punk rock fish, one of the toughest fish out there. They suck to catch, but they're pretty badass. Watch out for their teeth. You don't wanna, no hands near their mouth. So with chain pickerel, since they have all those teeth, you don't wanna grab it. That's fine. What you can do is you can get some fish grips. What you do is you'll reel up, hold them, lip that chain pickerel like that, and then you can take the hook out and then put this back in the water without having to touch the fish or those teeth. And you release the fish like that. You just pop it open. Fish grips are good for pickerel. I know this one's on everyone's list, bass. So when you land a bass, you can grab them. Let's take a look at that fake bass. So, got my fake bass right here. If I caught this bass and I reeled it up, I would grab it by the lip. And that's how I would hold that fish. Just like that. And I would take the hook out and release them. At some point when they get very large, you're gonna want to lip it and then hold the fish so you're supporting the fish, especially if it's a 5-pounder. Largemouth, smallmouth bass, same thing. Little guys, you can lip them. Bigger guys, you're gonna wanna hold like this. Large and smallmouth bass. So you might be asking, what about carp and catfish? I don't fish for carp or catfish, so I don't know. And I'm not that interested in waiting around for a fish to bite. I'd rather go find a fish to bite my lure. That's why it's a lot of moving baits and other stuff like that. I'm not using a lot of bobbers because I want to locate those fish and get after it. I don't want to sit there for 4 hours and wait for a fish to come along and suck up something and then hope I catch it 45 minutes from then. I don't have the attention span for that. Sorry, I don't know about carp or catfish. Never caught one in my life, not even on accident. This is more about the other freshwater fish. I wanted to thank you for watching my video. I hope you learned something this week. If you did, you want to learn more about fishing, you can always hit that subscribe button. If you have a suggestion for a future video, why don't you leave me a comment? If you have anyone that could benefit from maybe watching and benefiting from the advice I have to give, why don't you go ahead and like and share it. Thanks for coming back for Freshwater Fishing Friday. My name is Moles. This is the Freshwater Fishing Novice YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. See you next Friday.